Hello, my name is Claire Workman, and today I'm going to be talking a little bit about geotourism and domestic tourism in Portugal. So to begin, I'm going to talk a little bit about the overview of tourism in Portugal. There are about 12.7 million geotourists yearly. This means that people from other countries of the world or regions travel to Portugal in order to experience their culture, as well as 21 million domestic tourists yearly. This means that people from Portugal in different states or areas or surrounding countries travel to Portugal as well to experience the same bit of culture. Portugal has to offer beautiful coastal areas. They also have countryside and farmlands where they produce port wine and pretty much grow everything. They have beautiful coastal areas, and there are many festivals promoting their traditional and modern religion, art, food, song, and dance. They're actively exhibiting their rich Spanish culture, so while it is a European territory, it is right next to Spain, so there is a lot of influence from there. Next, I'm going to talk about the impact on the economy. Tourism has created many jobs, so with tourism there's obviously going to be hotels, entertainment, sports, food and beverage facilities, different things like that that kind of cultivate a higher economy and better job opportunity. It's expanded the exports because with people traveling in, there's more need for what Portugal produces. With these two things, it's increased the economy greatly and allowed for advancements towards society such as schools, infrastructures, and sustaining the land. Next, I'm going to go a little bit into the impact on communities. So this is a little bit different than the impact on the economy because the cost in accommodating these travelers has put kind of a big hit. While it does increase a lot of revenue, it also does cost a lot to build these big hotels and infrastructures to house the travelers. And disrespectful behavior from the travelers, who aren't appropriated to their culture, has put a lot of resentment towards travelers from the locals. So in order to decrease this resentment, you can support local businesses. This means buying from local vendors or going to the farmers market and just supporting their economies. You can also, overall just respect the locals, respect their culture, and respect the efforts towards sustainability. Don't litter, and just, take in the sites that you see and leave them untouched so that generations in the future can see the same landscapes. Stay in hostels instead of hotels. This decreases the need for hotels, so you're not really affecting the environment as much. And also, the people who host in the hostels would be happy to introduce you to their culture and show you around a little bit, so your stay can be more as a local than a visitor, and it will really just change your overall experience. Lastly, you can travel by foot. A lot of people in Portugal ride bikes or walk to their destinations, so traveling in a car, kind of clutters up the streets. There's also a lot of local transportation that you can take advantage of. So just these small little aspects can really change the way that the locals view the travelers. Next, there's a big impact on the environment, but there have also been a lot of sustainability efforts. And so the new efforts have been placed in order to preserve the land, and these include protected coastal areas, as well as national reserves in Montechino, Alvaro, and Serra dos Candeeiros. So Portugal received the Sustainable Tourism European Award in 2016 and are constantly increasing their efforts to maintain and preserve their land. Also, light pollution has been a really big issue around the world, and Portugal has taken a big step into decreasing that, so you can see the full night sky and just really appreciate the land around you. So in comparison to Costa Rica, Costa Rica has also taken a lot of preservation efforts to their coastal surroundings, just like Portugal. They're both really big destinations for their beach areas, and they kind of want to keep it that way, which is understandable. And they also have a lot of preserved national parks. Another thing that they really take effort towards is preserving their culture. So Costa Rica maintains upkeep on national monuments and infrastructures, whereas Portugal upkeeps their sacred temples and cultural behaviors. So comparison to the UAE is that the UAE doesn't really take a lot of sustainability efforts in the past. It's a pretty desert terrain, and so whenever you try and build a bunch of buildings on top of it and house millions of people, obviously it's going to do some damage to the environment. And the cultural authenticity has been kind of dampened by so many travelers. It's kind of now a diverse mixing pot of cultures due to travelers. So while there are still local markets and things like that, there's also a huge increase in American business people there, and so a lot of the culture has kind of been dampened. So the economic increase from travel has kind of overshadowed the local customs. Comparing it to New Zealand, festival tourism is a focused tourist destination in both areas. So New Zealand is known for its festivals, as well as, like I said before, Portugal being known for its religious dance, song, arts, and food festivals as well. Popular attractions in New Zealand, though, apply to like farm stays, gardens, and countrysides, whereas that's not really the main tourist destination in Portugal. So just kind of going back over everything, Portugal is known for kind of its religious pilgrimages, which are included in their festivals, and they're known for their food. A lot of it is naturally preserved, so that's something that they really take pride in. They don't do preservatives in their food, and it's all just fresh grown, fresh butchered, everything like that. You can also see a wide array of their dance and music, which are performed in amphitheaters or even just their religious temples, and it's a great place to stay if you want to see beautiful beaches. Just remember to respect the locals, respect the land, and you should come out just fine. Thank you for listening.